Want to learn some of the automations that we use with our clients to keep a healthy list. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you keep a healthy list and you make sure that you're not emailing people that are no longer engaged with you, and also if you have people that aren't engaged, are you trying to re-engage with them as well? So we've been working through the business in a box that we supply a lot of our users when they join OmniSAM. And today I'm going to do a bit of a live recording that's going to go into the course, but also show you our list management automations. As well as that, I'm also going to throw in a little bonus. We're going to look at reviews and referrals automation that we also have inside of our business in a box. So hang on in. As always, we'll kick off with our theme song as we wait for people to come on in and join us in the VIP room. If you're an elite, platinum or diamond, come on in and we'll kick off demo day in about 3.5 minutes.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is live demo day where we dive into some of the things that you can do inside of OmniSAM. So since last week, we have been recording a lot of the stuff we need, all the content that we need for the business in a box training that we are really spending the next month or more dialing that in to make sure that it is a really fabulous user experience for when somebody joins OmniSAM, that we help them to be able to get their account up and running, but also lots of automations ready to turn on, just a little tweak here and there. So, because that's what we do all day, every day. We build automations, and that's what we think about. I dream about, yes, I do. I dream about tags and squiggly lines and how I can simplify processes. So you'll notice a lot of the videos that we're doing over this last week or so, there's a lot of live recordings that's going into the course, and that's what's going to happen here today. What we're going to look at is yesterday we did the long-term nurture. So we dived into strategies in where you can email people every week. Next, let's dive into actual dates so that we can celebrate in people's emails, things like Christmas and all those things. We'll also be looking at reviews and referrals and the automations that we've built in the back end for that. And then I will also be taking you through some list management automations. Now, these automations are usually things that most people don't even think about, right? They're so busy growing their list and serving their clients that they don't really think about, how do I keep a healthy list? So that's what I'm going to try to get through in the next 90 minutes, or just a little under that for you now. So let's begin with the dates. Now, another way that we can continue to show up inside of people's inboxes is sending them a happy birthday or a Merry Christmas or happy holidays or whatever holiday you celebrate, as well as New Year's Eve. And anyway, let's dive in and you'll be able to see all of the different holidays that we have for you. So let's jump over into my computer. So here we are back inside where all the automations that come with the business in a box are. Under automations, you will find all of these things. Now, we've worked through all of these at the top and we're coming down to here. Stage 3, set dates for birthdays and set holidays. Now, all of these are in here. So when a new lead, when a brand new contact is added to the record, just like the long-term nurture, they automatically come in and we set all of these dates. Now, you'll see we've got New Year's Eve, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Australia Day, Anzac Day, July 1st, which is Canada Day, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Halloween, Remembrance Day, April Fools, and New Year's. Now, all of these dates that we have here, these are set dates, which means they're always on the same day every year. If you want to do things like Easter that changes its date, then you would need to come in here every year we'd have to set up a separate automation that you would come into and change the dates every year. So in my opinion, just use the set dates for now, unless some of those other holidays are really, really important to you. All right, so that's it. I just needed to show you in here. So all you have to do with 3.0 update contact fields for set holidays is turn it from draft to published and click save. And then down here, we're going to, now that you've turned on this one, you now need to decide out of all of the events that we have in here, which ones do you need? So if you're in America, you won't need Australia Day. And if you're in Australia, you won't need Canada Day or 4th of July. So let me show you how you will now work through and update and then publish. So let's go into birthday. So in the birthday, when the birthday trigger happens, then an email is sent. And here inside the email, we've created a very basic email for you. So if you don't have the time, then you can just turn it on, right? Happy birthday. We've put a picture in there. We've said from the name of the business, the name of the person and the name of the business here. One thing you could do is you could just type in what you want at the bottom, right? You're not like me where I've got to send this out to many people. All right, so if you're happy with it, just leave that. Then if you have the text message service set up inside of OmniSAM, we can also just send a happy birthday message. Now, if you're somebody who wants to give them if you're someone who wants to give them a gift or a coupon code for their birthday, then you can also include that in your emails before publishing. But again, if you don't have the time and you just want it on for now and it's not that important, then just leave it as is, turn it from draft to published, and save. So that's your birthday one. Now, I'll just quickly whip through these so you can see what's in the emails, and then it's your job to go through and either change them or turn them on and publish. So here we go. Happy New Year. The image we've made, I've made a animated GIF for you. I've done some writing. It'll put in the right year for Happy New Year. And if you're happy with that, then you will just click draft to published and save. Next, as you work down, Australia Day, again in the email, I've created an animated GIF for you. If you're happy with it, then just click save and publish. Next, we go into Valentine's Day. So in Valentine's Day, again in here, I have got a little image here for you, some words. If you're happy, just draft to published and save. The next one we've done is St. Patrick's Day. And in St. Patrick's Day again, I've just put a little Paddy's Day picture here, Happy St. Patrick's Day, and some words there. If you're happy, then publish and save. Next, we have April Fools. In April Fools, I've created a little animated GIF here for you. Again, check the words. If you're happy, if not, make some changes. And when you're happy, turn it from draft to published and save. Also, Anzac Day. So this is in Australia or actually anyone in the Anzac area. So lest we forget, a little animated GIF here. If you're happy, draft to published and save. Next, we've got Canada Day. So if you celebrate Canada, I've made a little animated GIF here for you. Again, if you're happy, publish and save. Also, happy 4th of July. In here, you can see a little happy 4th of July animation, some words, and again, click save, publish and save. So I'm hoping that you're like speeding through this as much as me. Happy Halloween. Made a cool little GIF here. I was quite happy with that one. Then if you're happy, click save, publish and save. Then Remembrance Day. Here in Remembrance Day, again, a cute little picture, or not a cute, a nice picture, some poppies. If you're happy, publish and save. Then we have happy holidays. So we've used holidays because not everybody uses the word Christmas. Happy holidays. If you're happy, what do? Easy. Draft to published and save. Fine. Oh, second last, Boxing Day. So this is for us. We celebrate this in Australia, the day after Christmas, where all the cool sales are on, and it's the day we go out to the movies with the family. If you're happy, hit save. And finally, New Year's Eve. We've made another animated GIF in here for you with a little countdown to New Year's and some words. And if you're happy, save. So then, depending on where you are in the world, all of these will be published or some of them won't be. And if there's any other set holidays, you will need to add them into here by creating a field. But just reach out to us if you would like to do that and you're not sure how. All right, that is the set dates section. All right, I'll meet you in the next video. All right, so back we are here. So the set dates or event dates that are set to standard dates are all done. You've turned on the ones that you need and you've left on the ones that you don't. If you want to add any additional dates that have set dates, then you can certainly do that. And I'll meet you in the next video where we'll move into the next area of the automations. So the next part I'm going to jump into is just a very quick look into stage 4, sales and invoicing. So over to the computer. Here we are, sales and invoices. So what we've set up here is just a standard trigger that happens when you send an invoice. So when an invoice is sent, right, the system knows an invoice has been sent. Then a note gets added to the customer's file saying that this invoice was issued on the date, to, and their name, the invoice number, the total price, and the due date. Then it will wait until 3 days before the invoice is due, and it will send a SMS reminder that their invoice is due. We're just waiting for a second for it to load. Let's try that again. Something is happening. Let's try again. I had a big install go onto my machine, guys, so I'm sorry. And I have not rebooted it. And so it is not happy with me at all. All right, let's try this again. Now, in the SMS, 3 days before, you'll get a text message going out if you have a phone number connected, telling them that their business, the invoice from the name of your business is due. Check your email for information. And an email goes out as well, advising them that an invoice is due, and an automatic link here so they can go to the invoice and pay. Then 3 days after due date, it does the same thing. It will send a text message saying that it's past due. It will also send an email about past due with a link to pay. And then 14 days past due, it will send again another text message, another email, and then an internal notification, which is the little bell telling you that someone's past due. It will also send you, the business owner, a text message and an email. So you'll be told in 3 different ways that you have an invoice that is overdue. So this, generally, you will just turn it on, but if you want to go through and check each of the emails to the clients and add your own words, please do so. Once happy, turn it from draft to published and save. Now let's talk about when an invoice is paid. So this automation is set up that when an invoice is paid, then it removes them from the invoice sent, which has all the reminders because we do not need the reminders. It will also thank them for their payment, and there's a little thank you generic email in here. If you want to add in a little bit of your sparkle, go ahead. And then also a notification SMS to you, letting you know that you have received a payment. Nice. So really just check this one email here if you want to change it, and then draft to published and saved. So that is the invoice section. Now, whenever you set up anything to do with sales, invoicing, subscriptions, here in stage 4, sales and invoices, is where you will build in those automations. All right, let's move to the next one. So the next one here is stage 5, onboarding and fulfillment. We have put the folder for you here inside of the business in a box, but there's nothing in it because everybody's onboarding experience and the way in which you want to onboard people are very different. So whatever you normally do after somebody pays. So I'll give you some examples. Some might be an assessment that they fill out. Maybe you want them to fill in a questionnaire before they start your program and partway through your program and at the end of your program. Or if you run live events where you do a weekly or a monthly live Q&A, you can set up your reminder emails and text messages here because it's part of onboarding and fulfillment. So for example, we have different expert sessions that run every week, and we do things like this, the live demo that helps our users, which is again part of onboarding and fulfillment. So when you are building out your onboarding and fulfillment workflows and automations, then build them in here in the stage 5 onboarding and fulfillment folder. I'll meet you in the next one. So next we've got stage 6, upsell. Again, we have not put anything into this workflow. This is left open for you to think about things that you might do to upsell. So some of them might be somebody joins a live event and you've got a VIP upgrade option. You could build an automation email sequence and you would do it in here. Or maybe somebody's come through your course and now you want to move them into a membership program. Again, that offer would be built in here. So anything that has to do with taking them from the first payment to an upsell, that would go in here. So that is upsells. Now let's move to the next one. So here we are, we're down to our main final stage of the 7 stages of the customer's life cycle, and this is reviews and referrals. Now, we've already looked at the landing pages that you built in under sites and funnels for the stage 7 reviews and referrals. Now, this is the back end of what happens when they submit those forms. So you are going to need to come in here and turn these on. So 6.01 is what happens and when do we ask for a referral review request. So we've set up a few things. One is you manually add yourself this trigger tag to request a review to a contacts file. When you apply that trigger tag, it will remove that trigger tag. So it will send it out and trigger everything that's going to happen below. Next is if they are moved to the customer 1 stage in the pipeline, that will also trigger the review. Also, if you changed their status from open, which most new leads sit at, to 1, so when they purchase, they automatically move to 1, that will trigger this workflow. And if they pay an invoice, this will also trigger this workflow. Then what it does is it comes down here and it checks. If they have if they've actually done a review, we have a section on the customer's file that says, how would you rate us? Now, if that section is not empty, which means it has stuff in it, it means that that person has left us a review. So we don't need to ask them again. If they have nothing in how would you rate us, that means they have not left us a review. So therefore, they would go down this path here. Then it's going to check a few things here. If the trigger tag was added or any of these were added, then if it was a trigger tag, then it would come down here and move straight to the request here. But if a trigger tag is not added, they need to be moved in the pipeline stage. So therefore, they would come down this path and they would be added to the new pipeline stage, which is customer 1. Now, that once they come down here, when they end up over here for the email, this is what the email looks like. Hi, name. Thank you for working with us. Our number one goal at name of your business is to ensure we provide an exceptional experience. If you could please take a second to answer one question about your experience. Now, this must be linked to that custom value, and it looks as though it's not correct. So the way in which we fix that is we've got to go to, I'm just going to grab this, one moment. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just going to go and grab the right link, and I'm going to note that I need to fix that in the business in a box, that the link is the old one. So if my team are listening right now, they're going to be noting that as well. So what we actually need in that custom value is, if we come to custom values, we go to the folders, we go to all of these review and referral links that we set up way back at the start of this Business in a Box training. And this one here, review link initial, this is the one that we need to send them to. And if you remember, that is, and we need this on the end as well, email copy. So let's also make sure, yeah, that needs to be on there. So again, I need to fix this custom value training section for the reviews and the referrals. Now, what that little question mark with email name on it does is when they click the button, it's automatically going to let us know which email that person is clicking from. And then we pop in the actual custom value and save. And it will pre-fill the form with the person's email when this is used. So that is now fixed, and I'm going to click save. Then 5 minutes later, if you have the phone number connected, it's going to ask them here, how did they go? And then in a second email, it's going to send them that link. And I'm actually just going to, again, change that to the custom value and save. Then it'll wait 1 day. Then in the next email, it'll ask again. So again, we're going to just fix that custom value and make sure we save. Then 3 days later, we're going to try one more time, and we're just going to fix this link and save. Now again, you can come in and check the words that we've used and add your own sparkle to it. And finally, this section ends with a goal. So if the contact is review and we get activity review received, see this activity review received tag gets added, make sure if it's not in yours, you add it and click save. So what that will do is when that review activity tag gets added, it will pull everyone down and stop sending them reminders. So once you've checked this workflow, turn it from draft to publish and save, and I'll meet you in the next one. So here we are. Next is that a review has been submitted. So we know that somebody's submitted that form for the review with the stars on it. That triggers, and it brings them down into here, and it adds that activity tag that I showed you before, which will then pull everybody down to the bottom of that review request workflow. Then it adds a note to the customer's record saying that they gave you a review, how many stars did they give you, and any feedback that they may have put in on that form. Then based off how many stars they gave us, they would get a tag, 1 for a positive review or 1 for a negative review. Then a notification is sent to you. 1 is telling you that it's good feedback. And then the other one is that they've said, we need to improve. Then 10 minutes later, it sends an email to those who gave us an excellent review. And we say to them, thank you for completing that. And we're glad that they're happy. Then it waits 3 minutes, and then it will send a text message saying that we saw that what we're doing is awesome. Then it'll wait 1 day, and then 1 day after the review, we're going to ask them to introduce us to people. So here is where we will say, I was thinking about the positive feedback you gave yesterday, and if you could enter a friend or a neighbor or a family into this form. And this form is the referral request. Now, this should work perfectly fine. Nothing for you to change in here. Just check the words. If you want to add your own bit of flair to this, your own voice and language, certainly jump in there. And then when done, we're an Aussie. We have yous in our neighbours. I'll click save, then turn it from draft to publish and save. So that's 6.02, what happens when a review referral is given. Next, we're going to go into the attempt to contact referral. So say somebody clicked on that email and did give us a referral and completed that form. Then this will be the trigger that starts this automation. Then we will add the lead that got referred to the pipeline, and it'll add their name and who referred them up here. And then it'll also add into the contacts record the name of the person who referred them. 30 minutes after the form is submitted, then we send our first introduction email. So the first introduction email will be, hi name, so-and-so referred you and gave me your name as someone who might be interested in our services at and your business name. Are you open to discussing? If so, click here to view my calendar. And the link here should be your intro call URL, custom domain. So I'm going to head to custom domains, custom values, and under custom values, I'm going to go to folders. I'm going to go into the appointments, custom values. I'm going to scroll down and look for the intro call because this is your master calendar. And then I'm going to pop that in here and save. Now next, make sure we save that action before closing. Then it's going to wait for 2 days. If they reply to this email within 2 days, it goes down one side. If they don't reply, then 2 days later, they'll go down a different side of this decision point. So here we can see in 2 days that if the contact reply is true, so they replied to that email, then if it's yes, they'll come down here. And if it's no, then they'll come down here to follow up. So when they come down here, we'll send them an additional email. We'll make sure that this calendar link, so this one is actually a trigger link. I'm going to just pop in the custom values link and then click save. And again, in 5 minutes after that, if we have their phone number and you have the phone system, it will also send a text message. So that's 2 attempts at contacting a referral. And if you want to add more, you can. Another thing you could add is a task for yourself to remember to follow up. So once you're done with this, make sure you turn it from draft to publish and save. Let's move to the next one. Now, finally, in the reviews and referrals automations, we have referral successfully converted. So this will happen when somebody is either moved to the 1 section, or their status is moved to 1, or their pipeline stage has been moved to 1. And if they have somebody in their referred by field on their file, then it will send them down here. It will add a note to the contact's record that says that someone just became a customer. And also, it will send an internal notification to you to say that this person who just became a customer was referred by this person. Make sure you thank them. And also a task here is created for you that tells you to make sure you thank them. All right, so there's nothing for you to do in this one other than turn it from draft to published and click save. So there we go. That is all of stage 7 reviews and referrals completed. Let's move to the next automation together. So the next part is about list management. So inside of automations, stage 8, list management, unsubscribe and resubscribe. What happens here is we've set up automations so you don't have to worry about trying to keep a healthy list. So let's first dive into 8.01, list cleanup check for name, info, phone number. In here, what happens is every single time a contact is created, they will be pulled into this workflow. Then 10 days after they've been on our list, a decision is made. If we have a name and phone number and that is empty, then we send them a link to fill in this form. So we don't have the name field or the phone number field. Let me just double check in here for you. So if there is no first name, no phone number, and no, and we have the email. Let's start that again. After 10 days, then it goes into a decision point. So with the decision point, the first one says if the first name is empty and the phone number is empty, then please send an email, because this email we've got. See, it says not empty. So that's what will go down here. The next one is if the first name is empty, the email is empty, but the phone number is not empty, then send them a text message, which is this one. Then the next one here is all of the fields are not empty, So we have everything, name, phone, and email. It'll come down here and they'll just fall out of this workflow. And then this one here, this one is a first name is empty, a phone number is not empty, and an email is not empty. So we will send a text message because we still don't have their name. So we want to know what their name is, so that we're not just sending hi and there's nobody's name in there, right? And then this final branch here, people fall out of if they don't meet any of those things. So quickly, let's jump in and see what they look like. You will just check that you're happy with the wording in here, but it says, hi, I'm with the name of your business, and it looks like we don't have your first name in the system yet. We'd love to get to know you better. And then they will get a link to update on that update contact field form. These have been set up to populate with the information we already have. Do not change what's in this link, but you can change any of these words if you want to, and then click save. The same with your text messages. There's a link and everything in here. Just if you want to change any of the words, then just don't touch anything that's inside of these brackets here. Same in this text message as well. Don't touch anything in the brackets, but you can change the words. Now, remember, you are getting charged also based on number of characters in a text message. So if you make it really long, you could get charged for multiple text messages. So if you're happy, which most people don't really change anything, then just click save. We're going to move now. Let's now move into 8.02. This is great because previously with my old system, it was very hard to get somebody unsubscribed and resubscribed. So this one is looking at the unsubscribes. So for now, if an email bounces or if a customer replies to unsubscribe or they unsubscribe from an event or they complained in an email or they replied stop in an SMS or they replied inside of Apple, there's an auto unsubscribe button that they can push. Now, based on what event they have triggered, different things will happen. If they've complained, then we will enable do not disturb on all channels, If it has bounced, that means it's an email, so we do not disturb on email. If they've unsubscribed, then again, we enable do not disturb on email. And if they've said stop on email, on text message, then we do not disturb on text. Then it asks here, do they have a phone number? If they have a phone number, then we will also send them an email that says, it looks like the email we have for you is invalid. Please update your contact info. And then the contact info is that custom values. So again, nothing for you to do in here other than turn draft to published and save. Now let's look at 8.03. This is when they have been unsubscribed, or DND, do not disturb, has been turned on. And we want to turn it off because they want to re-engage with us. So along the top here, we've put in quite a lot of different things that will turn back on their DNDs or turn off the DNDs, do not disturbs. So we've got the offer access. So they've been granted access to an offer. They have replied to a text message. They have submitted an order form. They have replied to an email. They've submitted a form. They've submitted a form on TikTok if you've got that connected. They've booked an appointment. They've signed up for a membership. They've filled in a form via Facebook. They've resubscribed via a form. they've completed a survey, and they have been granted access to an offer. So all of these things, if they were not on the list, some of them, especially if they've booked an appointment or they've signed up to our membership program, we don't want to have issues of them getting their emails and reminders. And that's why when one of these things happen, there's a condition set up here that knows which ones to push them into. So if, for example, they need to resubscribe to text messages, then we re-enable DND, or we disable DND, which makes it enabled. And here we do it for disabling email, and this one is for all channels, both text and as you can see here, turning them back on, so we'll end up in their inboxes and text messages. There's nothing for you to do in here other than understanding it, turn it from draft to published, and save. So there you go. That is all of the main things we do in the first part of list management in relation to subscriptions to our list, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and the amount of information we have on their contact record. Let's move into the next automation and look through other ways to keep your list healthy. So here we are under stage 8, miscellaneous workflows. Now this is lots of different things to ensure that we keep our list healthy. So let's work through them one at a time. So the beginning one is 8.01. The opportunity status has changed. So when the opportunity status changes from 1 or to lost or to abandoned, then it will come down here, and based off this trigger, it'll send them into one of these two workflows. If they are 1, which means they've become a customer, then we automatically update the contact status here, and you will choose 1. Now, at this point, before you move any further, we need to come in and update this part of the contact status based off what it is that you have available for sale. So before we can update this, I need to take you into I'm going to just begin back here actually and come back and edit this. No, I'll insert. Here I'll go, yeah, because then they'll know where it links straight away. So when you get to this area, at the moment, I've got some placeholders in here, but this you need to go and update. So follow me while we go and update contact status based off the things that you do. So head with me, leave this window open, go and open another window in OmniSAM, and then you're going to head down to settings. And this time in settings, we're going to go not to custom values, we're going to go to custom fields. And then along the top in custom fields, you'll click on folder. Then when you're in the folder, the one you're going to come into is this one here, the contact. And under contact, you will see contact status, and there is a radio button here. What you'll do is come over to the right, click on the 3 dots and click edit. Now in here, you'll see I've got a few placeholders. So one, we want to know cold lead, warm lead, and hot lead. But here inside of OmniSAM, we have 3 different types of customers. One, we call them users. So those are the people who only use the software and don't require any additional help from us. We call them users. The next one are people who join our mentoring program. So they've got access to all the experts and strategy sessions and copywriting and so many awesome experts. We call those people members because they're members of our community. So they're elite and they have the software. And finally are the people who want done for you. This should be a D here. They want done for you, which means we're building for them. So we call them clients. So what you may have is different types of, now the broader sense of the word is customers, different types of paying customers. And if you have a way that, like verbiage that we use internally, like user, member, and client, to differentiate the types of customers, then you will change that. If not, and it's just a customer, what do you call that customer normally? Do you call them a client versus a customer, or do you just call them a customer? If you've only got one type of paying client, then you will only use this one here with the smiley face, and you'll say current, and you'll update that to customer or client, whatever you call them. Then you will delete these two lines. So most of you will do that, but some of you may have clients and members, right? So you might have different ways. The rest of these fields just stay the same. Once you're happy, then we click save. Now with that information updated, we head back to that workflow, and we will need to, before we can go any further, we will need to refresh. So just refresh that screen just so it can see the new updates that has happened in that contacts status field. So now that you've updated and you've refreshed the screen, you'll come back to here, and under contact status, you'll choose current customer. So when an opportunity is won, they move to a current customer, and click save. Now back to this status, you'll see we've got the won and lost and abandoned is together. Now I actually did this on purpose because I want you to have a go at updating and creating two more branches that we need, because we actually want to put them into one into lost and one into abandoned. So the first one, let's say lost. Then we'll say workflow trigger is, and you will choose the lost one, just like that. Then if you want to, you can add another branch this way to do the same thing. Another way to add a branch is you can duplicate a branch. So if you click on the three dots, there's the option to duplicate, and then it holds all the things here. So this is usually the easiest way if you've got something fairly close. So we're going to change lost to abandoned, and it is abandoned. And this extra branch that I made for demonstration purposes, I'm going to click on the three dots and delete. Once I now have three branches, then I will click save. And you can see here, now we've got the one branch that we completed and the lost branch that was already there. So now we're going to click on lost, and where it says contact status, we're going to choose lost and abandoned. And that's it. And save. And in this one, oh, I'm going to go back on this because I know what I was why I made two. Just bear with me, because I wanted you guys to make one yourself. So just bear with me. I'm going to redo that. Lost, abandoned. Okay, let's try that again. So then when you come here to this decision diamond, on purpose, I've actually left one of the branches out of here because I want you to actually create one with me. So let's head over here first because we're going to create a new trigger. And that trigger will be status changed, and it's changed in the pipeline, in the leads pipeline, and in the leads pipeline, they have moved to the stage of bad fit. Bad fit. And then at the top here where it says opportunity status changed, you're going to write bad fit and save. Oop. Oh, an opportunity. Also, you need to add the opportunity. All right. Where is it? Sorry, just let me check something. Move to status. Move to status. Let's try that again. So at the top, you'll choose trigger, and then you will type in the word status, and you're looking for opportunity status changed. Then you will add in here status in pipeline, and you're going to choose your lead to sale pipeline. Then you're going to choose the pipeline stage, and the pipeline stage is bad fit. And the move to status is abandoned here. So once they become a bad fit, we're going to abandon the sale and click save. Then down here, you're going to add a branch for that. So we're going to come in, and you can see currently we've got lost and abandoned. But here's the thing. When you add a trigger along the top, when you come in here, you cannot see the new trigger. So if I go add a branch and I try to see that new workflow trigger, I can't see the new one. So you must, after you add this trigger tag, you must click save and then refresh. And we're waiting. So once we refresh, now when we come in here and we add a new branch, we call this one bad fit. We trigger a workflow trigger is, and now you will see bad fit. And I'm very naughty because I did not put a name. Let's add this back in. Make sure you also add the name bad fit to the description and save the trigger and then save. Now, when you come in here, you're not going to be able to see the change, so you must refresh. This is going to be a fun edit. So if you're out there on the live stream and you're still hanging in with us, good on you while we do a live recording. All right. So now that you've refreshed, we're going to go and make a branch together. So currently we've got the one branch, the lost and abandoned branch, and next we want to add in a branch for bad fit. Then we will choose select workflow trigger. Workflow trigger is, and it is the bad fit. We will then save, and now you can see the bad fit one here. Now, instead of going and trying to find this one, what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. We're going to click on the 2 dots, click copy, copy action, and we're going to move it here. Then we're going to change what's inside. So click to change. Up the top where it says update contact field 2, we're going to write bad fit. And the contact status will come down here to dead or bad fit and save. Then once that's done, you've done everything you need for here. You're going to turn it from draft to published and save. Let's move to the next one. Now let's talk about 8.02, which is a stale lead. So a stale lead is triggered up the top here based off time. So when a new lead is in this pipeline, is sitting in the first stage, which is the new lead stage, and they've been in that same spot for 90 days, so they have not moved, then we send a text message and we say, hey, name, are you still interested in what we have here at name of your business? Again, if you want to change the words here, go ahead. And then we also send an email. Hi, name, still interested in the services we provide at ? Now, you can add more information into these emails, but it's just one attempt to re-engage. And when you're happy with the text, turn it from draft to published and save. So that's an attempt to move somebody from a new lead to the engaged lead. Now, let's move into 8.03. This is when a lead does engage and it stops the unengaged workflow. So if they book an appointment or their status changes to open or they reply to us via any type of channel, whether it's text messages, email, WhatsApp, and so on, or we move them inside of the pipeline. So they would move to any stage in the pipeline because everyone always starts in the first stage. Then we will remove them from the stale lead workflow. And nothing for you to do in here other than to turn it from draft to published and save. Great, let's move to the next one. So next we have 8.04, which is follow-up date reminders. Now, on the form that you complete for the update of call status, so the form you complete when you're on a call or you're doing an ATC, an attempt to contact, if you add a follow-up date in that field on the form, then it's going to come down here and it will add a task. And it says you wanted to follow up with this person today and here's their contact information. And also any other insights that we know about the person that you have on the record. So when you do call them, you know what you're going to be speaking about. So this is taking you back to that original attempt to contact stuff that we spoke about earlier in the training. Now, on that follow-up date as well, there will be an internal notification that goes out to you to tell you to follow up. Okay, and again, with all of the information. And then finally, an SMS internal notification as well. And it says to go in and check your notes. So this is so you do not miss a follow-up, but there is only one reminder. If you ignore it, you're leaving money on the table and we're not going to send you another one. You can certainly add more in here for yourself or just do your job, right? Follow up when you're supposed to. So for this one, you really just have to come in and turn it off and just understand its purpose. So do that and click save, and I'll meet you in the next one. So here we have contact replied alert. So what this does is when they reply via any of these channels, and the meaningful reply means they haven't said stop or unsubscribe. If they have, then it does other things. And then it figures out what did they reply on. And then it will come down here and it's going to send us some notifications so we don't miss it. So first off, it's going to send a text message and an email to advise you that somebody has replied. And if it comes down here, it tells you that someone's replied, but they don't actually have an assigned user. So somebody needs to go in and assign a user to that person. Now, pretty much every time somebody gets added to into your contacts, they're going to be assigned to the main person. This is more relevant for those who have large sales teams and round robins. Sometimes people, may not come in with an assigned user. So if no assigned user, then that happens, and then it comes over here and it removes where it says customer replied alert to off. It then waits 2 hours and it turns the customer replied alert back on, so that we can reply to them again. So again, nothing really for you to do in this one. It's just understanding its process. Turn it from draft to published and click save. All right, so now let's head into 8.06, which is a reactivation campaign. Now, this one here, you will need to have an offer. So when somebody comes into here, they will get what's called a 9-word email. It's a type of marketing strategy. You can Google it. It was created by a guy called Dean something. I can't remember his last name. And it's quick question name. And it'll say this is the name of you, who your name is, with the name of the company. For a limited time we're offering, and what is the name of the offer. So you would have put that into your custom values. So heading to custom values, over to folders, then we go into lead magnets. And under lead magnets, you're going to see the database reactivation offer. So that offer will be the name of your freebie. What it is that this one here, the name one. So what is the name of the freebie that you're giving away? And then the link to the opt-in page will go in here. Now, if you don't have one, but you've got a niched lead magnet that we gave you with the business in a box, for example, if you're a life coach, you would have gotten daily habits, then you can just use that in here. And then if you ever change your mind later and you want to find a better offer to re-engage, you only have to update it here in custom values. So then this email, then also as well as the name of the offer custom value, the link should be the custom value with the word link on the end. So they'll see the name and that will turn it into a link. And if they're interested, they'll click. Also, for the re-engagement campaign, we also send a text message followed by another text message to try and elicit a reply. Then it waits 1 day. Then in 1 day, it sends another text message with the offer and also an email. And you can see here on this email, it's only got the offer name. So you will have to edit this, come to custom values, copy your link. Now we don't have any links, so this isn't going to work right now. And I'm going to paste that link in here and save. Select the action, open in new window and save. So now it's an active link. Okay, so now that's done, you can click save and turn it from draft to published. Now, if you don't have a reactivation offer, then please put this in as a job to do. If you're going to use the one we gave you, then this is what you will do to your custom values. Over here in your custom values, you are going to go and find your lead funnel. So to get to your lead funnel, you will go back. You will look for sites. You will go into your lead generation funnels and you will choose something from the funnel, stage 1 funnels. So we're going to choose this one, which came, hang on a second, no, not this one. So we're going to choose this one, the life coach one, because that is what we created. And what we created was called a daily habits checklist. And you would have already turned this on. And as you know, I have no domain connected in this training account, but it will be yourdomain.com.whatever. And then the / will be, if we click over here on publishing, will be, for this example, checklist. So whatever yours is, it'll be yourdomain.com / checklist, or whatever sits in here in this slug area. So you've got daily habits, click on publishing to see what it is. Once you know what it is, we can then go and add this link to custom values. So we know it's checklist. So here's how we add it to custom values. You will come over to back to settings. You will go down to custom values. You will go to folders. You will go to lead magnet. And actually, before you go to lead magnet, just click back, go into general info. And the first thing you're going to get is your domain. So we're going to copy that link for the domain. We're then going to take that back into lead magnet. And then here where it says with the link, you're going to click the 3 dots to edit. You will paste in that custom value, and then you will do the / whatever those words are to get them, not click. It was called checklist. You'll put that on the end, a / and that word. Now when they click the button, that's where they will go. And then also we need to give it a name. And for this one, we called it the Daily Habits Checklist. And you can also give it a little hook on the end. So if the Daily Habits Checklist, so that you can, and then put those words on the end. And then update. Now that that's been populated, what you can do, you will know now when these emails go out, they're going to have that information in them. So once done, click save, and we are now done. And we are now done in the database reactivation workflow. Next, let's go and look at outbound missed call automation. So sorry, I'm just going to go back here and do that again. Now we're looking at 807 inbound missed call automation. In this workflow, if you have a phone number connected and someone calls and you don't answer, or they get the busy signal, or they cancel the call, or they leave a voice message, this will trigger an internal notification to send you a message that says they just called the CRM phone number. We have sent them a missed call text back, but be sure to call them at, and it has their phone number. So the cool thing about this is it lands at your phone with the number, and you can just click the phone number and call them straight back. You don't have to go looking. And also, if they're calling around trying to find someone to fix their leaky tap and you don't answer that phone, they're going to call the next person in the queue and you lose that job. So this missed call text back automation will actually make you so much money providing you call them straight back. Also, 1 minute after the missed call, we also send them a text message, and the goal here is to get the text message to them before they ring your next competitor. And they see this, sorry, I missed your call, what can I help with? And then that starts them texting you. And then hopefully, while they're texting you, you're actually going to call them and it's going to make you money. It's an awesome automation. So there's nothing for you to do in here again. It is really just so that you understand and then turn it from draft to published and click save. So there you have it. That is all of the stage 8 miscellaneous workflows done for stale leads, database reactivation, contact replies, and follow-ups. Well, we have been through now and activated and turned on every single automation workflow. You may have a couple left to fill in, like your long-term email nurtures. You might need to tweak a little bit of text in the stage 1 lead generation series, but mostly everything's now turned on. And there's a lot of automations in there that you probably didn't even think about doing or even probably didn't even know about, but we have got you covered. Awesome. So you've made it through automation, and that's the beating heart of the business. That's the bit I love the most. So as you're continuing to work your business, what I want you to do moving forward is if you're finding yourself doing repetitive tasks over and over again, and you find that you're doing the same thing 3 times, I want you to stop and ask yourself, can this be automated? Because chances are it probably can. You just need to know the how. And that's where we come in. If you can't figure out the how, reach out to us. We're here to support you with the how. All right, you've got the little blue button at the bottom with the chat help. And I shouldn't say that because that button may move in the future and I'll have to redo this video. So there we go. You have now completed all of the automations from stage 1, lead generation, stage 2, indoctrination and orientation, stage 3, your nurture to converts, stage 4, sales, stage 5, which is onboarding and fulfillment, nothing in there, but you'll fix that. Stage 6, upsell, same there. You'll fix that one because we didn't give you anything, just the folder. Stage 7 for your reviews and referrals. And then stage 8, which is miscellaneous workflows, things to do with list management, stale lead re-engagements, database reactivations, and so forth. But well done. You have turned on all the automations. Now, moving forward, I want you to, every time you're working your business, and if you find yourself doing something 3 times, I want you to stop and I want you to ask yourself, can that be automated? chances are it probably can. So if you don't know how to do it, then reach out to us because we will know. That's what we do all day, every day, is help people with automation because it will save you time. I actually see the automation section of OmniSAM as your team in a box. They're the ones adding things to people's accounts. They're setting up reminders and emails and following up for you. So by having all of this turned on, it's going to save you so many hours every week. But still be mindful, there is so many other things that you can add to these automations. So constantly ask yourself, can that be automated? If you've done it 3 times or more. And then you just need to know the how. And we're here to help you with the how. So please make sure you reach out. And I just want to congratulate you for making it to the end because it wasn't easy. It was quite long, but you did it. Well done. Or if you've gotten here and you're like, I've still got to go back, I just did a binge watch and I don't really want to do it myself, then reach out. We can do it for you. We can have a chat about that as well. All right. Well done. You've done it. Now get out there. Use OmniSAM. Utilize the automation features. Simplify your business and workflows because it will save you so much time so you can spend more time with the people who you really, really want to help. And that's our goal, is to get you freed up to do more time doing what you love with the people you love. Thanks, guys. All right. So I then want to show you. Now, before we move into setting up all the automations, I need to show you the opportunity pipeline that we've created for you to give you an overview of what it is. Because as we move through the automation setups, through all the different stages, you're going to see certain parts in which you will see people moving through this pipeline. So that you can understand that, let's go to my computer and I'm going to show you the opportunities pipeline that we've gifted you inside of the box, in the business in a box. So here we are back inside of OmniSAM, and down the left-hand side here, you will see opportunities. Now, inside of opportunities, this is the opportunity pipeline that we have made for you. And that way you know where people are in their journey towards you and through your events or programs. So every time a brand new contact is added to OmniSAM, they will fall into here. Once, of course, you've got your automations turned on, which we'll be doing next. Then if they reply to you in many different channels, it could be reply to an email, a text, a WhatsApp, and in the automations we'll show you more about what they are, but that's where they'll go. Now, if they book that first calendar that we had, then they will move in here. And then if they cancel or you complete the form, they will move to cancel or no show. And the same with that second calendar that we made. When they book, if you've set that one up, they will also move from here to here. Then negotiations, what that means is they've said probably yes, but they might need to discuss it with a partner or look at their money and funds. But you're in negotiations now, which means you'll be always following up, but you are now talking and they're close to that yes. Contract and invoice sent. So depending on the type of business you have, you may not take payment on the phone, or you may send a contract first that then sends an invoice. So this is they have not yet paid. Then once they've paid, they move into here. If they leave you a review, they will move here. If they sit on your list for a long time and you know that they're not yet ready, you will move them to long-term nurture. If they say no on a sales call and they are definitely not going to buy, you will move them here. And if they are a no good fit client, they're just not someone you want to work with, then you can move them here. Now, there will, as you will see as we build out the automations, there are stages in which they automatically get moved for you. So before we move out of pipelines, I'm going to meet you in the next video where we're going to talk about just renaming some of these. Now that you've got an overview of what each of these mean, I want you to actually rename the calls. So we've given you the name of the first calendar and we've called it intro call. And the second calendar, if you're using it, we've called it consult call. But your intro call might be called discovery call. So the way in which we edit these names is we come over up the top here to pipelines and we click on that. In here, you will see that pipeline and we click on the pen. You will then come down here and if you call your intro call something different, maybe it is your discovery call, you will put that in there and you will replace that in each of the intro call ones. Now, if you're using this one, then again, you will change the name. So maybe this one might be a strategy session. So it's up to you what you've called those two calls, because some people actually do what's called a 2-call close, which means the first call is more about triage. So it's a really short 5-minute to 10-minute triage call just to see if they even qualify for a longer call. And then they run a longer call, and then that will be the biggest sales call. That way, you're not spending hours with somebody trying to close them and they're not actually a good fit. So if you're somebody who does a 2-call close, then this is what you would have. But you name them however you like. They will still function the same. Once you're happy, you just click save. Awesome. There we go. So that is an overview of your pipelines. And next we're going to move into the automation parts where you're going to start to meet your team in a box that's going to save you so many hours. I'll meet you there. Well, there we go. I think I have just finished recording the business in a box. Now it's time for me to go and edit everything. Oh, no, I have not. I've still got to do the testing ones, but I'm 6 minutes overtime for this stream. So just bear with me. I'm checking. I have an appointment. Yes, I've got copywriting on in 20 minutes. So, let me bring up and test, because we have to do the testing section. So what I'm going to do, if you're still with me, good on you. Put a hello in the chat. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the testing area just to make sure that it matches what I'm going to tell you guys to do during the test. So I'm looking for the business in a box master. And okie dokie. Before we can say, we're done, we have to actually test. We have to test all the things that you have now in your business in a box. So you need to be looking at funnels, websites, links, forms. When they fill in things, do they end up on the right page? Do they end up in the right workflow? So there's an easy systematic way to fix or go through each. And what I'll do is I'm going to walk you through where you should check, and then you're going to go do the doing, okay, for each of these. So we'll do one at a time as we work through these videos, because then it's up to you to go and test everything, okay? So I'll meet you in the next video where we will begin our testing in funnels. See you there. Okay, so let's do that. So you're back now inside of OmniSAM, and you're going to head down to Sites. Now in Sites, we're going to begin in your lead generation funnel. So if you have got a niched one that we made for you, you will come into that. Then you will have your domain connected, so it'll show up here, but I can't because I don't have a domain connected in this test account. But you can click View Page to bring up, I'm going to use the preview. Now, the way in which we check this is I always check all buttons and links from top to bottom work. So first, does this first button work and bring up the pop-up? Yes, it does. Then close the pop-up. Move down. Does this button work? Yes, it does. And it brings up the pop-up. Moving down. Test all three. Pop-up, pop-up, pop-up. Good. Next. Of course, we haven't edited this, but at the bottom, pop-up. Yes, it does. And here, pop-up. Yes, it does. Now, before we fill in the pop-up, there is still links on this footer. So I need to click Terms and Conditions and make sure it takes you to yourdomain.com/. I'm just going to wait for it to load. It's probably not going to work because I don't have a domain connected. Yeah. Yeah, no domain. It's not going to work. So you will click Terms and Conditions and make sure you land on the Terms and Conditions page, and then just click the back button to come back to this page. Then click on Privacy Policy. Make sure you end up on the Privacy Policy page, and if so, great. Click the back button. This should have been updated. This should have your name in it here, but then powered by OmniSAM, that should, when you click it, it will take you to our opt-in landing page, and up in the URL, you should see your affiliate name. So it will have omnisam.com.au/, ref equals, and then your name up there. And if that works, excellent. So once all of those buttons are checked and links are checked, now we opt in. You will fill in your information and make sure when you hit this submit button, you end up on the right thank you page. So now that you're on the thank you page, we'll do the same thing from top to bottom. We're going to click the button, and we can see here that our pop-up has come up. And we're going to do it again. Pop-up, pop-up, pop-up. And also ensure that it's the right form. So the right form will allow them to choose yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and morning, afternoon, and evening. Of course, I've got some more editing to do in here for colors, but you get the point. It's functioning. And again, pop up. Now if these are a global field, they should all work, but I still recommend testing. So exactly the same as we did, check all links and buttons and then opt in. And make sure you end up on the right page. And now we're on the booking page. So here, again, just make sure you check the page. Now you can see what's happened here is that's what's called an exit pop-up. We don't want an exit pop-up on this page. So then I found an issue. I would go back to that page and let me show you how to turn off an exit pop-up. So I'm going to click the edit button on the page I need to fix. And along the top, you will see pop-up settings. Click on that. Then I click on the blue bit at the top here for pop-up settings. And then you scroll to the bottom and you'll see disable pop-up. And we turn that on and save. Oh, actually, and you will publish. I can't publish because I don't have a domain. Now when you refresh this screen and I go to exit, which means I try to leave the page, the pop-up doesn't come on. So check all of your links and then book yourself an appointment. So fill in the info for the appointment, put in some words in here so you can see them in your email notifications. So you know what it looks like when you receive the email, and schedule the meeting. Then you will see here and test. Add it to your calendar. Now that's been done and you've booked your appointment, you should have a couple of things happening. You will go to your email and you should check that your emails have come in and that they are working. So the same thing with your emails. When that arrives, you need to check it and click each of the buttons. So for stage 1, for your lead generation funnel, what I recommend that you do is you opt in on the first page with one email address, and then you do not go through and try to book an appointment. You just leave it as if you've opted in and then you've taken no further action. Because over the coming days, you will see the emails coming in using the workflow so that you can have a real life user experience for when somebody opts in for the lead magnet and then does not book an appointment. Then I would opt in for viewing the calendar opt-in form using a different email address. Now, here's a hot tip. You can use the same email address, but then you put, let me show you on the screen. It's probably easier. So I'm just going to type it up here so you can see it in real words. So let's say you were putting in your email address and it says sally@omnisam.com.au is my normal email address. You don't want to use a fake email because it's bad for your reputation. What you're going to do is you're going to put a plus symbol, and then you can use, I always like to use the word test because I know that I'm going to delete that email later. And then so you know what you've done during the test, the first one, do opt in on the end. Now, this is still going to send to Sally@OmniSAM, but this is letting us know what we've opted in for. So that's what you'll do on the first page. Now, the second page that you opt in for, leave the word test and write view calendar. So as the emails are coming in, you'll know why. And that will put them into the 9-step follow-up automation where you will get texts and emails. Well, texts if you've got the phone connected, and definitely emails. And then finally, when you book an appointment, you will just do test, and you could use like booking, test booking. Okay. Now, when the emails come in, you'll know which part of the funnel you opted in, and you will get those emails in real time. Now, this will refer to any other things that you opt in and test throughout the testing phase. Make sure you use that plus test and then an indicator so you know, because they're all still just going to come into that one inbox, and you need to be checking and clicking all your emails as you go. All right, so that's stage 1, check, done. And make sure you do give yourself that real life user experience by waiting for the emails to arrive as well. And if you find any errors, then fix them. Because not everything's perfect. Not everything goes as planned. It is going to be in perfect action. And I promise you, there'll be something that has a problem as you're testing. And we just fix it. That's what we do. All right. So get stage 1 done. And I'll meet you in the next video where we'll talk about the next workflow to check. All right, so the next workflow we're going to look at, let me just get out of here. All right. Next, we're going to continue checking, and this one we're moving into is stage 2, the appointment pages. So, heading on over to my computer, inside of the appointment pages, what you will do here is this appointment form, you won't be able to test until there's a real life appointment. So you will book yourself an appointment, and 15 minutes before the appointment, you will get an email with this form in it. Okay, and then you'll be able to test the form. With the view calendar, this form would have been tested when you did the lead stage 1 checks. However, I still want you to come in and check your footers are all working and the links in here. And also complete the form and ensure that you then land on the calendar booking page. And there we go. And it is, because I've left it as introduction call, so that I know it is the first calendar. So I've ended on the right page. And again, we've got terms and conditions. Check all of those. Next is you've got your intro call page, which was just what we landed on before. So if I launch that one, you'll see that's where we landed. Again, I'm going to book an appointment just to check everything. And I will use the plus test. And then I'm going to say calendar, or I might just go intro call. So that's what I've tested. And I would recommend also all of your test emails, write down so you remember, why did I use test intro call? Because I was testing the reminders that come, one, to you, the user, which is this person, and also the second lot of emails that you get as the business owner to tell you. So then you will schedule a meeting, and of course you're going to go and check that you get that in your inbox. Then, finally, on the consultation page, if you have that second calendar, you're going to do the same thing, right? But you can see we have not attached the second calendar in this test account because we didn't need to for the training. It was the same as attaching the first calendar. But if you do have two, then you will do it there. Now, every time you make a brand new calendar, you will also add them into this appointment section. So do make sure all those links work. Check those emails as they come in. Go through that real life user experience or get a friend to for booking appointments. I'll meet you in the next video where we'll go through the next section of funnels to test. Next, we're moving into the reviews and referrals section. So let's head on over into OmniSAM. So here where we left off, we're in the sites area and the reviews and referrals section. So for this one, what you will do is you will again go and view this page. And before you do anything, make sure you check any links on the page take you to where you're supposed to go. Then you're going to test 1 through 5. So you'll click 1, you'll pop in an email address like sally at omnisam.com.au, and it hides the field. Now, what actually happens here is generally this goes out and has an email already inside. Then you're going to test. If I hit 3 or 2, where do I go? Oh, we've got to put in some words for 2 stars. And submit. Now, it's gone to the wrong page, and I think it's only gone there because I don't have an active domain. Let me check. So if it does end up, it's supposed to take me down to this page here and this page here if it's for feedback. So I can already see a problem. So what I'm going to do is fix it. So what's happening is when I hit that submit button, it's going to the wrong page. So I need to edit this form. Now, you cannot edit this form in the funnel. So in the form, when you click on this area here, you will see add logic. And then here in logic, it tells us where we're going to send you when you choose 4 to 5 stars. So it should be custom value review positive. So to check that that is the correct section here, / review positive, I'm just going to go and have a look at the slug on the positive page. Go to publishing, and it is review positive. So I can tell you, you guys, it probably worked for you. It didn't work for me because I do not have a domain connected. And this one is review negative with here, same custom domain, review negative. So even though there was a problem, it's only just because for me, there is no domain connected in this training account that I'm teaching you in. But can you see how we run into little things and we've just got to check? So then finally, you will check, or not finally, then you will check the second page, make sure all these links work. And when you click on these, each of these, you get redirected to the correct place. Now, we have not connected these because we don't actually have any Trustpilot, Facebook, or Googles that we need to send you to, but that should take you to your custom value, which is, let me just show you. Hang on, let's get out of here. Where's the custom values? So when you click those buttons, they should be taking you to the reviews and referrals custom values that you put in here. So if I copy that, so if I copy this one here and I go back to the form and I check because it wasn't going anywhere. So I'm going to check this button first, and it does say what to do for this button. And I'm going to say redirect to a URL, and I'm going to paste in my Google link custom value. I'm then going to go and get my Facebook custom value. Click on Facebook, drop that down, URL, and paste, and then Trustpilot. I'm going to copy and then come to this one, drop it down and paste. Now I will save the page and publish if you've got your domain connected. Now I'm going to preview and check it. And do we end up where we're supposed to be? Yes, we do. Excellent. Then we do try again. Facebook. If we click Facebook, do we end up where we're supposed to? Yes, we do. Then finally, we're going to test, go back and test Trustpilot. And it says, because I've just filled in so many forms in a row, are you a robot? No, I'm not. And it takes us straight to our section. So there we go. That's that reviews and referrals page. Then you will try the bad review. So they're giving you another review. We're going to view this. Now, you would have ended on these pages by choosing the 3, 1, 2, or 3 star, but you're going to fill all of this in. You're going to put in some words and then hit submit. And then again, you are going to get an email telling you someone's left you some feedback. So go and check your emails. And then finally, the last page is the referral page. So in the referral page, what you're going to do, so our colors I need to fix. You will fill this in. So let's go and preview this. And you will fill all of this in of who you want to refer. And then you put your name at the bottom. Now here, choose a different email address because that is who we're going to contact. And that's the person you're referring. So if you've got a different email address and if you know their phone number, so I'm just going to put in a pretend one here. And I'm going to call this person Samantha. And I'm going to say test referral like that. So I know what it's coming. I'm going to put a plus test referral again so I know and submit. Excellent. So now that's done. Then you will have that user experience of checking all the emails when they come into your inbox. Great. So make sure you've tested all the forms, all the links, and then again, use multiple different plus things in your emails so that you can have that real life user experience and check all the emails as they come in. All right, let's go to the next testing section. All right, I'm now heading over back to sites. Now we are in the final bit here to test for miscellaneous. Now this gets sent when they're missing information, remember? So you can do a couple of things. One, it doesn't send until 10 days after. So you could, in one of those opt-ins previously, you could have, well, they all require a first name. You could create an account that doesn't have a first name and is missing a phone number, and another one that is missing an email address. Now, if you have a phone connected, that's fine. If you don't, nothing you can do about it. And then when that email arrives in your inbox, it'll bring you to this form. But for now, you can still test everything in the form that you fill it in, and it updates the contacts record. Also, if there's any links, make sure you test the links around the page, right? If you've got these larger footers, make sure you test all of that. And just checking everything over. When you click, you end up in the right place. There we go. So that is update your contact information. Next, we're going to look at the website. So now you're here in websites and, so now you're here in sites, and the next thing to test is websites. And if you've used our website, you will have these pages in there, and you begin on the first page. And just like you've done in the funnels, you click every button. Make sure it takes you where you're supposed to. You opt in to every form and make sure when you opt in, it does what you want it to do. And you will do that through every single one of the pages that we gave you in the business in a box. So you would have done a home page, an about page, a contact page, a link in bio page, a privacy policy, a terms and conditions, an A2P opt-in, just a standard page for us to be able to use if you apply for a phone number, an unsubscribe, a promo unsubscribe, and an expired promotion. So go through every single one of those pages. Again, like I said, check every link, every button, every form, and make sure that you end up on the correct page and also that the correct email lands in your inbox. So just methodically go through each of those pages, and that is your next area for testing. All right. Now, something else that you can test if you want to go through your emails that are going to be sending to ensure that the right words and the right links and everything are working, you can do that directly inside of your workflows. So let me show you how. Heading on over into OmniSAM. Now, the first one is your email campaign templates that you send out for your long-term nurture. I'll take you into one of these and show you how to send a test email to yourself. Now, of course, I haven't written anything in here, but you will click on the three dots and you can click test email. Then down here, you will see send a test to. And in here is where you can put your email address. Then you can hit the send test button. That way, you are able to then receive the email, check the links, and make sure all the things look good. If you've got any custom values, for example, down the bottom here, there's some custom values. Make sure that they have the right words in them as well. So I recommend as you are setting up each of the long-term emails that you test each of those, because once it's done and you'll never need to go back. Now, the second place that you can test is here under automations. Now, not every automation has an email, but quite a few do. So to test each of those, you will come into each workflow, and what you're looking for is a green email. When you see the green emails, you'll click on it, and then right down the bottom, you will see test email, and type in, and I'm going to just type in sally@omnisam.com.au, and then click send test. Then I can head over to my Gmail account. So I'm going to do that. Here you'll see in my Gmail account is that email. Now that email's come in, I can click here and check. Does that take me to the lead magnet? Yes, it does. And there's a link if you want to book a call. If I click that, does it take me to the intro call page? No, it doesn't. Why? Because I don't have a domain connected. So that one will work for you. And I can tell up the top in mine, it would have worked for me too. But this account doesn't have a domain connected. And then here is the attached PDF. So work your way through and just check each of the green emails. You'll do definitely 1.01. There's emails in there. And there's no emails in this one, so you won't need to worry about that. But work through each of the things we've given you where there is an email. Send a test to yourself. Check all the links. And you're good. Your emails are working fine. And if not, fix them as you go. So that is how you check emails and all the links inside of OmniSAM before launching. All right. Now, finally, I recommend that you ensure you book yourself appointments. Book yourself an appointment, which you've already done, and you would have done that when you were testing the opt-in funnel. Then watch all the reminder emails coming in, okay? Because remember, 1 hour after the appointment as well, you'll also get an email that says, click here to leave a review. Test that as well. But go through the full user experience with the calendar. So to wrap things up, the things that you will be testing, all of your funnel pages, all of their links, all of their forms. Each link should take you to the correct location. Each form, when submitted, should take you to either a new page or sometimes it stays on the same page with additional information. Check every page carefully. Then head into your website, check every page, every link, every form. And then calendars, book yourself appointments in both of the calendars or one, depends on how many you have going. And then finally, all your automation workflows. Go into those, make sure you've read through them so that when you see them, you understand what they do. And finally, check emails. Check all the green emails. Send yourself test emails to from inside the workflow. And then also make sure you go and check or do check the long-term emails as you write them. Just before you give it that green tick that you're done, also send yourself a copy of it just to check all the buttons and things work. Awesome. That's it. Work your way through testing and launching. You will be able to turn it on and still use it. And if there are mistakes, it's okay. Okay, it is okay if you still turn it on and you have not fully tested everything. I promise you, someone will tell you and you can fix it, or you'll see it land in your inbox yourself and you will fix it. So imperfect action. Work your way through, but then testing, yes, you've got to do it, but I don't want that to stop you from starting to use the system. Excellent. All right. Well, I've gone a little over time to get the rest of this recording done for the Business in a Box, but I'm pretty sure I'm done now. I am done. Thank you for everyone out there. I can see all your eyeballs on me right now for hanging in over the last couple of days as we've finished off the Business in a Box recording on a live stream. We will be editing this, and everybody who has a OmniSAM account, you will be able to use your new business in a box. You'll need to reach out to us to ask us to push it, and we have a form we need you to fill out as well. So if you don't have the business in a box yet, please make sure you reach out to us. But thanks for joining us for Demo Day. If you would like something in particular for next week's Demo Day, then send us an email at hello@omnisam.com.au. Let us know what you would like us to demo next week, and we may just do that. All right, as always, guys, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income producing activity done each and every day. And I will see you, I don't know, whenever my next live is. Go check the calendar. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares